We are going to be developing the financial pro forma sheets that you need for your project. In the first tab is startup costs. So in this case, we're going to be bringing the items forward and combining them for the most part in the break-even analysis worksheet that you did. So we had $1,200 altogether for the display. That was $1,000 and then $200 for monthly. Cash register, we had at $200. Location was $2,200 per month, including insurance and utilities, so a total of $6,600. We have supplies at $75, and we had our $1,000 deposit. And then this item is a change because it's not your break-even inventory, it's what you anticipate purchasing, rounding it to about $4,100. Now, the items that you put in here will very possibly change by the time you get to your finished and completed plan. I just want to see that you understand the process for what you're doing and that you can set it up to be able to run a profit. You might make some tweaks later on. Maybe you'll order more inventory. Maybe you decide you don't have to spend as much on display and signage. So that's fine. The next sheet is startup funding, and I have it set up that your startup costs automatically transfer here, and that would be the amount that you would need to start with. And for the purposes of this class, we're going to say that you're going to borrow that entire amount. That way it's a nice, easy way to go forward, and you have the experience of seeing how a loan works in this process. We're going to assume that you're going to pay the loan off, though, at the end by the end of the 3 months that you are running the kiosk. And in this case, I'm going to put 8% interest. That works for me. So the principal payment per month is $4,391 and some change, and the interest is a little over $1,000. The next sheet, sales forecast. Keep in mind, I'm only adjusting the figures in the yellow squares. Now this will have, or the yellow cells, this will change if you have additional products beyond a single product, because then instead of just one line item, you've got a lot of line items to work with. So I strongly encourage you to just carry one item for this project because it will make your life a lot easier for this. And the process is the same. Once you understand the one product, you know wholesale versus retail for multiple products and things like that. So in this case, let's see, we're going to figure out how many sales. And this first item is unit sales, so how many we're going to sell. And I'm going to say I'm going to sell 400 calendars the first month, 775 calendars the second month, and December people are going to go crazy for calendars. So we'll have 1,200 calendars. We're going to keep the pricing the same throughout. You may change your pricing, that's entirely up to you. You may want prices to drop closer to Christmas, your choice. And my cost of goods sold will remain steady as well. So now I've got my finished information here. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep my just two employees in addition to myself. I move to cash flow. And let me scroll over a little bit. So in October, I am going to not have employees, but I am going to pay my own salary. Let's say $2,000. Oops, $2,000. I don't want more than 200. There we go. In November, though, I'm going to hire a couple of part-time people, but I'm going to make sure that their salaries, including taxes, don't go over $2,000. And I'm going to pay myself $3,000 at that point. Same thing for December, keeping them under $2,000, and I'm going to pay myself $3,000. Rent I've already prepaid because that was part of my startup costs, and so that is paid through my loan payment. Miscellaneous, it's always nice to put something in there just in case, I'm going to say $50. So at the end of the year, I should have $5,185, and because I am planning to make a $5,000 donation to Image Wild, I'm good to go. Income statement automatically calculates for me, so my net income is $18,000. My balance sheet also calculates for me, and the one critical aspect that must be in balance is that my total assets balances with my total liabilities and capital. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Should be pretty simple unless you start getting multiple products. If you do want multiple products, what you do is you click on the space, right click, insert. Okay. Then you're going to need to click in the cells to make sure that you include all of the rows. So you'll have to drag that down. Then you'll need to adjust totals to sum, and then you'll include all of the rows and adjust from there. Once you have one in place, you can drag that across. And you'll need to do that for each one of the rows for the different areas, for each SKU that you're adding. Not a miserable thing, just a little bit more complicated. Oh, and if you plan to do any additional marketing, that would be added up here. I'm choosing not to spend any additional funds on marketing. Let me know if you have questions.